Just about ready to start. Got a great show lined up for you today. Okay. Do one last thing here before we're ready to go. Upload this, that channel. All right. Okay. Hopefully I've got my ringers shut off, which I'm not sure if I do. So we'll deal with that as they come up. This is Geek News Central. My name is Todd Cochran, coming to you from FEMA Region 5 in the new media production studio designed by Automute.com in Coldwater, Michigan. Stories tonight: QAnon under attack by Facebook. Amazon rebrands Twitch. The U.S. military gives up Spectrum. And the USPS shipping delays may affect Amazon Prime Day. And I have a lot to say about that. I want to welcome you to episode 1466 of the Geek News Central podcast for Monday, August 10th. This show is sponsored in part by GoDaddy.com and listeners just like you. Great deals from GoDaddy can be found at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. You can support this show today at geeknewscentral.com/insider. We're looking forward to all of you becoming insiders. Check that link out today. Get started becoming an insider on this podcast. Of course, we want to welcome all the new listeners. Thanks for being here. Thanks for checking the show out for the very first time. Make sure you get over to geeknewscentral.com. Check out all the great content on the website. There's a real opportunity over there for you to engage and get engaged with this audience on our chat rooms as well at geeknews.chat or on Discord. Discord link is in our show notes. And some of you have been joining our Slack channel. So all you got to do is send me an email to geeknews@gmail.com to be part of the Slack channel. Of course, you can follow me on Facebook. And of course, all our partner shows are linked at geeknewscentral.com, whether it be the New Media Show, the Pro Gear Site, the Gadget Professor, GNC Week in Review. Those are all shows you can check out at Geek News Central. Of course, I almost forgot you can subscribe to this show while you're over there as well. But this show has had a sponsor since June of 2005. Matter of fact, we got our numbers in. Our good friends over at GoDaddy dropped me an email on Friday. I kind of missed it. We had a pretty good month in July. So I want to thank all of you for your ongoing support. But hey, more importantly, and this is the key here, you can get over to geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy, geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy, and you can save a pile of cash because I've got some great discount codes for you. Whether it be 30% off new product purchases, whether it be at $4.99.com, whether it be $1 a month economy hosting for the first year of the free domain, or $1 a month managed WordPress hosting for the first year, again with the free domain. Yes, I said $1 a month. You didn't hear it first time, second time, $1 a month for the first year. $12. Get you going with economy hosting or managed WordPress hosting, either or, along with a free domain. Business owners can try a free trial of GoDaddy Website Builder, your choice of personal business or business plus plans every time you make a purchase or recommend someone or send someone over there to take advantage of those sponsorship deals. It's like an in-kind donation to the show. It's like you have just wrote a check to this podcast. When a new customer signs up for GoDaddy and buys one of my hosting accounts, it's just like writing a check to the show. So definitely when you're sharing this information with your family, friends, people that you know, when you're spreading the word, this is mucho appreciated on my part. It's a grande help. And I don't speak Spanish, so if I blew that, I'm sorry. But hey, definitely thank you so much for everyone that does that. All the promo codes are going to get available at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. Thank you for being a long time supporter here. And Rita, thanks for picking up a new URL at GoDaddy. Definitely appreciate that. Of course, if you're an existing customer, you don't get that $4.99 deal. That's a one-time use code for a brand new customer. So I am Red Bulling it. I'm last night, Well, let me take a shot here. Saturday night, didn't sleep. Well, let me wrap the GoDaddy. Thanks, GoDaddy. And thanks for being a long-time sponsor. Saturday night, woke up at like 3 o'clock in the morning. Just like 3:30 or 3:52 is what it was. 2 nights in a row at 3:52. What's that? Something's triggering me to wake up. And I slept okay. But boy, I'm gonna tell you, it just wasn't the best sleep. And then um I had just last night just didn't I zombied out. Went to bed early. Doing okay today. Kind of felt zombied out a little bit again this afternoon. So definitely need the Red Bull. Just not enough. I think just not enough solid sleep, I guess. Some people say they're because of all this stuff that's been going on over these months, they've gotten a little bit of insomnia here and there. I didn't get, I fell asleep, no problem. It's just I woke up weird and then kind of tossed and turned for a couple hours. So, who the hell knows what's going on? I guess I need to drink more beer or something. And I don't normally like to drink beer in the evening. Typically, it's like maybe early evening. I have a cocktail once in a while, but maybe that's what I ought to try. Maybe that'll be a solution. So I want to talk just a little bit here. Bad weather's coming in. It's let me show you the radar for those of you watching. There's the radar, and I'm the little blue dot. So it's coming. You're going to get to enjoy it during the show. Possible 8:30. Oh, so maybe I'll get through the show before it happens and I can save stuff before the power goes out. But anyway, according to weather.com, and of course it's not loading, or maybe it is now. Let's see what it's taking forever. Yeah, here it comes. This is what's coming. And so anyway, we're going to get schwacked here a little bit when this thing comes through. So it's getting close. So let's do the future view for those of you watching 7 or 8, 10, 8:30. Yeah, maybe we'll see what happens here. That's just a guesstimation, but anyway, storm is coming. Thunderstorms are coming when they get through the podcast. So, podcast awards. We announced our slate on Saturday. That went up. Very good response. Had a few cheaters this year, nothing too serious. Enough to get them disqualified, but that's what happens when you cheat. And that's what really is kind of going on. And so spent Sunday doing a bunch of emails. Pretty full weekend. And what's going on there? Why are you saying duplicate? All right, let me close you. Pretty busy. But that leads us into our first segment here of the night, our conspiracy segment. So our Ohana here have been putting in some conspiracies. So an oldie but a goodie. Well, I won't get into that one. Let me see here. Let me scroll down here. We'll use Andrews on a night it's kind of slow. Sean submitted one. He says it's fake but amusing. It's an Instagram post of the U.S. testing an ICBM as cover for blowing up containers of children being trafficked to hide evidence for 500. To hide evidence for whatever that is. Censored hashtag here. So basically, it was some sort of fake thing that was going on about ICBM testing and trafficked children. That's kind of a weird one. I got one in here from Rita. Says Dorothy Kilgallen, newspaper columnist and regular panelist on the TV show What's My Line, was murdered in her New York City apartment to silence her for what she knew about the President Kennedy assassination. All her notes went missing. She was the only person that ever interviewed Jack Ruby. So that's a conspiracy theory. Now, here's two more. Back in the late 80s, early 90s, a certain briefcase was lost. Shortly after that, several space-related mishaps occurred. These included a shuttle mission and numerous rocket failures. So, what was you need a punchline here, uh, Mr. Dare. So, what was that? That what you left us hanging here. You need to give us a little more draw on because I have nothing to go by. You just said back in the late 80s and 90s, a certain briefcase was lost. Shortly after that, several space-related mishaps occurs, including a shuttle mission and numerous rocket failures. So, do tell. You can't leave us hanging like this. This is conspiracy theory with the conclusion. Number two, the entire ozone depletion scare was manufactured by Dow Corning simply because the patent on R12 was about to expire. The models used to lobby Congress were based on static measurement equipment and didn't allow for currents. Newer 3D equipment totally disproves those models. So you're saying that the ozone, that's what you're implying here, Mr. Dare, is that the ozone dealio was strictly a manufactured scare by Dow Corning because of the R12? R12 cost about, it's so hard to get. I think it costs about $80 a pound now. I think there's still some air conditioning systems out there with R12. Okay, so anyway, Mr. Dare, on number one, that was a little thin, if I do say so myself. So you were in charge of this production, not me. Okay, I can almost hear the thunder coming. So a little so maybe someone can help us on that briefcase that was lost. Also, in the last show, I made an announcement that we put some money on the line. And the person that came closest, we only had one person that I saw an email come in from that was, what the hell's going on with the internet here? Is everything online working okay? Because I just clicked on holy smokes, it says I'm not connected. What's going on here? Yeah, everything says it's running. Oh, this is very irritating. Okay, now it loads. Now let me go ahead and I'm loading okay, so Bob said, Todd, just finished listening to your last podcast where there was a reference to you losing your rocker. I assume that you must lost a stripe while you were in the Navy. I do like the shorter intros and new conspiracy theory segments. Keep up the good work and thanks. Now, Bob, you came real close. No, I never lost a stripe. I was never demoted. I had a hard time getting promoted, but I was never demoted. And what a rocker is in Navy jargon, is on one shoulder, when you are E1 to E6, you wear, in your whites, you wear a rocker that basically tells you which unit you're attached to. If you're with a squadron or a ship, that rocker is on your shoulder. When you get promoted to chief, you switch uniforms and you no longer have a rocker. So when I got promoted to chief, I lost my rocker. And it was kind of ironic that, and it took me because a rocker, a chevron, if you lose a chevron, that's when you get demoted per se. And so I never lost a chevron, I never lost a stripe, but I did lose my rocker. So that was what that was in reference to. Purely Navy jargon. Send me Bob, I'll be asking for your PayPal address. You got it close. And congratulations on the $20. So you have to listen to win here on the Geek News Central podcast. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into the first article tonight. And this is kind of following along a little bit with the conspiracy theory stuff. Just happens to come up. Kirk Goodfind. Do many of you know what Q is? Do you know what Q is? Some of you do. I have friends that talk about Q. QAnon, but mostly people talk about Q. It has some conspiracy that a certain supposed dead Kennedy is going to come back. That's part of Q. Well, Q's been growing. And discussions about Q, things political people say are interpreted as being part of Q. There's lots of stuff. And there's a whole litany of stuff that people talk about Q. Well, Q's days on Facebook are numbered. An internal investigation by Facebook has uncovered thousands of groups and pages with millions of members and followers that support the QAnon conspiracy theory. The investigation's preliminary results, which were provided to NBC News by a Facebook employee, shed a new light on the scope of the activity and content from Q on a Facebook scale previously undisclosed by Facebook and unreported by the news media because most of the groups are private. Even though you're private, it doesn't keep you, those groups are not out from underneath the scrutiny of Facebook. They can still look into those private groups. Those private groups have often led to individuals doing stuff that was quite disgusting, led to arrest, people going to jail for doing stuff in those private groups that was against the law. But the Q is just talking about conspiracy theories, talking about potential things happening in the government. A certain dead Kennedy maybe reappearing because maybe he's not really dead. Lots of things about Q. So the investigators should likely inform what, if any, action decides to take against its QAnon community. According to the document, 2 current Facebook employees have spoken on the condition of anonymity because they're not authorized to speak publicly on the matter. Of course, this is not politically driven at all. The company is considering an option similar to handing out anti-vaccination content, which is to reject advertising and exclude QAnon groups and pages from search results and recommendations, an action that would reduce the community's visibility. This announcement and Facebook's ultimate decision is expected to target members of militias and other social movements. Oh, they claim violent social movements. Does that mean Antifa and others like that they're going to go after? Facebook has been key to QAnon's growth, in large part due to the platform's group feature. There are tens of millions of active groups of folks. A Facebook spokesperson told NBC News. A number that's been previously grown. Now, they told it in 2019. So we'll see what happens with Q. Enforcing against Q on Facebook is not new. We consistently take actions against accounts, groups, and pages tied to Q that break our rules. Just last week, we removed a large group with Q affiliations for violating our content policies and removed a network of accounts for violating our policies against coordinated inauthentic behavior, according to Facebook. Let me read that again. Removed a network of accounts for violating our policies against coordinated inauthentic behavior that they have determined. We ask not to be named for fear of harassment from the QAnon community, wrote in an email statement. We have teams assessing our policies against QAnon, and we're currently exploring additional actions we can take. So, they go after Q. Who's next? Do you know of any groups out there that are on what Facebook would consider the fringe? We keep talking about this. As long as you're down the middle, you're good. But if you're far right or far left, you're not going to be tolerated on these platforms. You had to move off these platforms. You have your own .com. Have your own podcast. Can't be taken down. You have your own discussion groups. You need to move off these social media platforms. My next prediction is based upon a renaming that Amazon did today. Amazon has rebrands Twitch Prime as Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming now sits logical along Prime perks like Prime Video and Prime Reading. Here's what I expect. Twitch folks are pretty, well, they're gamers. I don't think they're going to take nicely to Twitch being renamed to Prime Gaming. I think they're going to go somewhere else. What do you think? What do you think? Time will tell. And a big announcement. This is big. The United States will reallocate military 3.5 gigahertz spectrum for consumers 5G in 2021. So this is a huge deal. They have basically given up, I believe, 3450 megahertz to 3550. Now, 3450 megahertz to 3550 megahertz, or 3.45 gigahertz to 3.55 gigahertz. They've given this back. It'll go up for auction in 2021 and probably be available in 2022. And the reason this is such a valuable frequency, it's a 100 megahertz block, is that you can get 5G speeds at that frequency and not have to go to the gigabyte range. Get full power. You can get lots of power. No power restrictions out of the tower. That's the big difference. With 5G, you're pretty power limited. Why everything has to be so close in line of sight. So this 3.45 to 3550 is big. Now, not only that, they freed up a whole bunch of other frequency, and essentially they're going to be able to go from 3.45 gigahertz to 3.98 or 3,450 megahertz to 3,980 megahertz, which is a massive amount of frequency. It's really incredible. It's huge. So they'll auction this off. We'll see what happens here, but those telecom companies will be squabbling over that in a big way. So all of us, those of us in the United States, it's politics time. And I'm sorry if you live outside the United States and listening to the show, but basically some states are mailing you a ballot. Now we got 6 here at the office. I got 6 notifications that we're going to get 6 ballots here at my office for certain people's names. I have no idea who they all belong to. When and if they do arrive, we will show them on the show. I'm going to definitely break out those and show them. But some states are mailing ballots to every registered voter, whether they are alive or dead, or they don't know if they've moved, whatever. So they're going to mail ballots. And the argument by the Republicans and by the president has been that it's going to be a total disaster because the U.S. Post Office will not be able to handle all the returning ballots and be able to get them back by election day. And some people are scoffing at that. Well, I don't care if you're a Republican or a Democrat. This title, this article should get you some independent verification that the USPS is having some problems. United States Postal Service shipment delays could have a huge impact on Prime Day 2020. With it happening in October, okay, it's one of the biggest online shopping days of the year, which would mean there will be millions of extra packages moving around the world. And that could be a big disaster this year if the USPS shipping delays continue. I'm not saying it. This is what Amazon's saying it. If you live in the United States, you may notice packages sent via USPS are being held up across the country. Recently, we had a package sent in California for over a week before moving to the next shipping center, and I'm not the only one, and me too. I'm having stuff delayed all the time. We have 3, 4, 5 days later than it's supposed to. Fellow Android Central team member Ara has had packages delayed all over the place. And you don't have to look too far on Twitter to see lots of people are suffering from this. So If they can't handle Prime Day shipping of this packages, how are they going to be able to handle millions of ballots on a state-by-state basis that's going to mail ballots to everybody under the sun? You don't hear anybody talking about that. Oh, this is not going to be a delay. It's going to be fine. It's going to work out. Then we're going to have no problem processing. We won't know who won the election until about February. And so, anyway, I don't want to make it political, but it's very ironic. It's very ironic that, we can mail. We're going to have no problem. We'll be able to mail ballots and people will be able to, do their vote and get them back in. And the USPS will be able to handle this no problem. But they can't handle Prime Day. Oh, my gosh. Okay, so let us move on. I'm just looking at letting the weather radar map refresh and see where this thunderstorm is. Oh, it's almost here. I said I can hear something outside. So Twitter lines up to buy TikTok as the company prepares to sue the U.S. government. So TikTok is set to be effectively banned from the U.S. in just over a month, but TikTok is trying to buy it along with Microsoft at the same time. TikTok is going to sue the U.S. government for the actions the president has taken with the executive order, or to take with the executive order. So we'll see where that goes. You ever wonder how much mobile data you use when you're streaming music and stuff? Well, here's a little information. If you are just doing some low-level audio streaming, you're using about 43 megs an hour. If you're using high quality, it's about 115 megs an hour. If you're doing video, low-quality video, that would be like 240 or 320p, is about 300 megs an hour. If you just go barely into HD, just like this show, if you watch this show on your mobile device, if you stream it live on YouTube and you're not connected to Wi-Fi, you're going to suck up about a gig. About a gig's worth of bandwidth for this show. If you go to SD quality, again, around 700 megs. If you go to ultra high definition, that's 4K, you're using about 7.2 gigs an hour. So that gives you an idea how much bandwidth you're using when you're not connected to Wi-Fi. Also, I don't know why you'd want a speaker in the shower. I know some of you like singing in the shower, but there is a number of them that you can take in the shower with you. JBL has one. There's one that's called Wonder Boom. They're all waterproof. You can take them right in, get them wet. So I'll have the link up in the show notes if that's something you desire to do. The little shower I have in my loft is barely big enough for me. So it's definitely not enough room for a speaker unless I hang one. Because RVs are being big this year, you can't buy one right now. All the RV lots are sold out. And what that means in a couple of years, there's going to be a lot of good deals on RVs. To me, that's very, very exciting. I'm going to wait 2-3 years. Everyone did this big rush. Then they're going to be tired of them 2 or 3 years. It can be a huge glut of RVs on the market. Well, you can rent an RV and pick it up right at the airport. You can get a Mercedes-Benz Sprinter RV, which is pretty small. A couple people maybe be comfortable for $199 per day. So you can pick them up from Las Vegas, Bozeman, Montana airports, and be able to drive around. Now, I do not recommend just on spur of the moment going and getting an RV and going to Yosemite. You do have to have a reservation to go into Yosemite with an RV to stay. You can probably drive around all day and leave and park on some road somewhere, but Yosemite is slammed this year, as is any other year. So just be aware of that if you're going to be all of a sudden deciding it's time to go RVing and rent an RV for $199 a day. Hey, that's about the price of a decent hotel room someplace, right? Hey, if you're in Europe, beware. And of course, a lot of people in the United States don't even realize, but Clear Channel billboards will start tracking consumers in Europe. You know, they've been tracking you here in the United States already, right? The company's radar program, which has been in place in the United States for 4 years. Well, they've got through all the regulatory issues in the EU, and they're going to start putting those billboards up in the EU. And as you drive past, Their radar tracking technology will give advertisers access to anonymized mobile phone data. Is launching next month. So they say its data is very well anonymized. Keyword is very well, not perfectly anonymized. So Clear Channel describes a process which measures consumers' real-world travel patterns and behaviors as they move through their day, analyzing data on the direction of travel, billboard viewability, and visits to specific destinations, and then maps that movement against Clear Channel's outdoor ads. Advertisers can then decide if they want to buy ads to reach specific behavioral audience segments. This is not necessarily for radio. This is for billboard. You know, there's a billboard south of here in Indiana. It's one of those digital ones. And they had some funny advertisements on that during the beginning of COVID. It's like, welcome, Michigan residents. We appreciate your sales tax and stuff like that. If I ever own property next to a major highway, I want to put up a digital billboard, and we could have a lot of fun with it. We really could. We would have a blast with that billboard. We would, I think, if you think about it, there's all these billboards across the country. I don't know what it would cost to buy a billboard, but can you imagine having a billboard on a major highway that we could have fun with as a bunch of geeks and put all kinds of messages and images, and we wouldn't even have to sell anything. We would just it could be like social media promotion type stuff. I think we could have a blast with it. I really think we could. Anyone that owns a billboard along a highway? If you're part of the Ohana here, please, I don't know what you get paid a year for that, but let's talk. We can have a good time with just nothing else for entertainment value, right? See how many hits we can get on as people take pictures of our billboard signs that we put up. I think it would be hilarious to have. And I'm sure someone has got one like that and having that kind of fun, if only. And I know those things got to be expensive, right? Those digital ones, and they're not cheap to run either from an electricity standpoint. So we'd have to have some ongoing backing. NVIDIA teases August 31st event countdown ahead of the rumored RTX 3080 GPU. Your gamers out there are very, 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 very excited. So the ultimate countdown, accompanied by a video of a star going supernova. NVIDIA has also updated its GeForce Twitter account header image with another teaser that mentions 21 days, 21 years. So we'll see what happens here. But it's rumored to be launching RTX 3000 series cards, and presumably the GeForce RTX 3080. Get your wallets ready, because you know what, gamers are spending an incredible amount of money still. Doesn't matter that. Well, maybe they were using their $600 stimulus money. I don't know, but it sure hasn't helped AT&T. AT&T is going to lay off 600 HBO and Warner Brothers after revenue decline. You think? Can't make no movies. Can't make no more content. So, in quarter 2 2020 earnings report, AT&T said HBO revenue was $1.6 billion, down 5.2% year over year, reflecting a decrease in subscriptions, revenues, and content. And other revenues, HBO expenses were at $1.5 billion, up 32.5% year over year, primarily due to higher programming costs. Expenses, HBO operating income was $113 million, down 80.3%. $113 million. They still made money. So, but they're laying off people. Now, AT's already cut 41,000 jobs since 2017. So, they continued to slash. AT&T had 243,350 employees, as is the most earnings report. The company's been trying to reduce its debt load since buying Time Warner. The company's long-term debt was $153.4 billion, down from $168.5 in mid-2018. Amazon, Apple, and Facebook says that President Trump's guest worker ban will harm U.S. workers. How do you figure? Did you guys know that we still have people graduating college this year that are looking for jobs? Lots and lots of programmers, high demand, still getting jobs out there. We still have IT people being replaced by overseas companies. So why can't we hire people here in the United States? I understand a lot of these H-1B workers come in, they do a great job, they apply for citizenship, they stay, and they contribute considerable amounts of taxpayer revenue. We know that. That's not any surprise. Many of these folks never leave. They come here in H-1B, company can petition, go through the immigration process, they can get their employee's green card. You did know that, right? It cost about 20 grand to convert an H-1B worker to green card. You got to go through the process, but it's very, very possible to do that. And that person can stay, become a citizen, and again, contribute to the economy. But how many non-Americans are we leaving on the side? Is it really that problematic to fill those positions with people in the United States already? I'm not saying that this program isn't a valuable one, but why can't we fill those jobs from home? Oh, Ted's telling me physical billboards cost $250 a month in rural areas, $1,500 to $4,000 in small to mid-sized cities, and $14,000 up in larger markets. Digital billboards can cost over $15,000 depending on the location. Ted, we need to find one somewhere. And then we just can put whatever, that's maybe that'd be a good crowdfunding thing, right? We could advertise podcasts. We could do social media blasts. We could have a good time with that thing. And rural America's fine. We can start with a small one. I want to own it. I want to control the message. I don't want to be told, no, you can't run that ad. You can't run that billboard. We wouldn't have it X-rated or nothing, but we'd have a lot of fun with it. I want it on a major highway. But anyway, we should hire from home as much as we can. So we'll see what happens with this lawsuit. Just another one. They can't travel here anyway. No one can come in. How can they come? They can't even travel. We announced this on the last show, but Apple's finally released first macOS Big Sur public beta. And I'll just have it. It's another follow-up article. I'll have a link up in the show notes. Disney has no more Fox. Fox has left the building. So basically, 20th Century Fox is now 20th Television. Oh, doesn't sound as cool, does it? 20th Television. Now, Disney owns that, amongst a lot of other stuff. But I guess they didn't like the Fox name. So it's 20th Television. Additionally, Fox 21 Television Studio is getting renamed to Touchstone Television, a TV brand that Disney stopped using in 2007. So it's trying to get rid of the Fox name from its assets. Disney is also rebranding to merge ABC Studios and its subsidiary AB Signature under the ABC Signature banner. Okay, so Disney Television Studios, ABC Signature, 20th Television, and Touchstone Television. It's weird how things just continue to go round and round depending on who spent billions of dollars to get it going. Go. Yes, that's who you get when you fly Delta United and Alaska Airlines for you get internet while you're in the air. I've only done that on international flights. I don't know if it's go all the way across or not. Oh, I think the storm is coming. Let me refresh the page. Anyway, they're looking for a buyer. They're trying to sell its commercial in-flight internet business. You think so? They're probably in big trouble. Because nobody's flying. They lost $86 million on $96 million in revenue. They still made $10 million. Its sessions per day in North America dropped 91% from 125,000 before the pandemic to 11,000 in April. The company says those crept back up to about 40,000 in August. All right, let's look at it here. Oh, it hasn't updated. Slow. Oh, it's right on top of me. So the thunder and lightning is coming, ladies and gentlemen. More worried about losing power. I think I've got all the critical stuff on ups, but you never know if I missed one. Uber and Lyft is ordered by a California judge to classify drivers as employees. And if I do lose power and lose the live internet, I will not come back to live internet. It'll stay down. Uber and Lyft ordered by California judge to classify drivers as employees. This is a stunning court ruling, and it puts Uber and Lyft in a tight spot in California. It really does. And in New York, where this was just dropped on them as well. So we'll see what happens here. This could be very, very ugly. And Uber and Lyft may have to raise its rates. And maybe the taxi will become the preferred way to travel again. God forbid. I met Woz twice. Last time I met him was in Chicago, was in a United Lounge. And I sat down and Woz was sitting right next to me. I do have a Woz Steel business card. He was going to give me a second one, and I said, no, I've already got one of your business cards. I met you before. He's got a famous Steel business card. But anyway, Steve Wozniak hasn't worked for Apple in any capacity for 30 years. Woz is still believed by many in the tech, or beloved by many in the tech community. And he's a cool dude. You know, he's got shitty internet. He's got internet like I do at the house. He's got horrible internet. Can you believe that? One of his richest guys, and he's got horrible internet. But anyway, he is invited tomorrow to celebrate with his wife's birthday, and they've set up his 70th birthday. Jeez. The internet is invited to celebrate along with him. His wife has set up a virtual 70th birthday party to benefit the musician Jewel Inspiring Children Foundation. So it's going to be a live event, and it's going to start at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. And after that begins 11 days of Wozdom, which is described as 11 days of challenges to win Apple Gear merchandise. So very, very cool. So link will be up in the show notes. Any of you are fans of Woz, you can celebrate his birthday, 70th birthday tomorrow with him. Uber wants the government's help to establish a gig workers benefit fund. As a reminder, there's nothing stopping Uber from doing that now without government intervention, but they want the government's help. Today's Uber CEO published a piece in the New York Times opinion section that admits to so-called gig workers deserve better, while the company simultaneously published details about what it envisions industry and government working together to put better for independent workers like Uber drivers. But unsurprisingly, treating those drivers and employees isn't on the table, except in California. Bada bing, bada boom. So we'll see what happens here. The gig economy is changing, ladies and gentlemen. Are you willing to pay a little more for your deliveries? Apple countersues headphone maker Koss in an AirPods patent dispute. And apparently they've been talking for a while. And what they were talking about wasn't supposed to be able to be used as discovery. And Koss went and used some of that information and filed a lawsuit and blah, blah, blah. So they're in court going at it. And, apparently, allegedly, Apple has infringed on some of Koss's patents. So we'll see what happens there. And, just write a check, Apple. Get it done. Get her done. But Apple has more lawyers than Koss does. I can guarantee you that. Google Maps is coming back to the Apple Watch. Now supports CarPlay dashboard. So my watch has always told me turn a little left, turn a little right, go slow, go fast but not with Google Watch. So that's cool that the Google Maps is going to be able to do that too. So this is 2 new features for mapping its service on Apple platform after removing it in 2017. Again, Google Maps is bringing back its Apple Watch app, as well as adding support for CarPlay dashboard. So that'll make some of you happy. People are still spending records amount on gaming in the United States this year. It should be no surprise. They're all stuck home, have nothing else to do but game. Games, consoles, and accessories are all selling better than ever. There's nothing to do. That's why they're home. They're playing games. That's why we're all getting fat. And the total spending of $11.6 billion marked a 30% year-over-year increase and a 7% bump over prior quarter, when spending hit a then record $10.9 billion. Not surprisingly, games made a lion's share of that number, with video content games accounting for $10.2 billion, up 28% from a year ago. Hardware sales were only $848 million, but that mark represented a massive 57% bump from quarter two 2019. Of course, people are buying gaming consoles. They have nothing else to do. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Facebook is forming financial groups to focus on payments. It'll oversee Facebook Pay, WhatsApp Pay, and other commerce projects. So, according to Bloomberg, it's called F2, short for Facebook Financial. It's meant to take care of all payment-related projects that we just talked about. The group is also said to house other Facebook commerce projects such as Novi, which formerly is known as Calibra, a digital wallet designed for Libra, which is a Bitcoin micropayment thing, as well as WhatsApp Pay, which went live a few months ago in Brazil. So it's all about the money. Just like people are doing, all these companies doing credit cards. Now they're all going to have financial avenues to process money and take a percentage of that from all of us. The big boys get bigger, we get smaller. Russian watchdog says Apple abused mobile app market dominance. Moscow. Russian competition watchdog FAS on Monday said that Apple Incorporated has abused its dominant position in the mobile apps market through its App Store for iOS devices and issued an order demanding the company resolve regulation breaches. And of course, an Apple spokesperson said the company plans to appeal against the FAS ruling. This comes against the backdrop of the European Commission investigation into Apple and the App Store rules, including requirements app developers use its own in-app purchase system. The FAS cited the need to download apps for the Apple iOS operating system via its App Store. It also said Apple's unlawfully reserved rights to block any third-party app, blah, blah, blah. It's the same. I think the window is crashing here on Apple. I think it won't be long. In many countries, there will be alternate app stores. Facebook won't be able to completely control its ecosystem for much longer. Time will tell, though. Apple's first Watch 07 beta is now available. The update includes company's take on sleep tracking. So if you want to make the jump to the beta, you can do that. Fair warning, make sure you're able to recover if the app goes crazy. And of course, there's going to be some new faces. We'll see what comes out. I'll see. I'm kind of getting bored with mine. Maybe it'll change from the default one. Toshiba shuts the lid on laptops after 35 years. I don't think I ever owned a Toshiba laptop. It was produced under the Cosmo brand, Kosmio. So they're no longer going to make laptops, PCs or laptops. Sharp, yes, that's the company Sharp, bought 80% of Toshiba's personal computing arm in 2018 for $36 million. And now brought the remaining shares. Toshiba said in a statement, Toshiba's first laptop was the T1100. I think I did have one of these. You guys all remember this? I may have had a Toshiba computer early on. Oh my gosh. I think so. Don't think it was very useful. I think I used it for stuff I was doing in the Navy at the time, running some programs or something. And it loaded with a floppy. Yeah, one of those big floppy drives. Or maybe it was 3.5. I can't remember. Oh, it does say right here, 3.5. So it was the time when 3.5s were still in existence. So I wonder what happened to that thing. I never throw stuff out. It's got to be in storage somewhere. iPhone shipments could decline up to 30% if Apple is forced to remove WeChat from the App Store worldwide. WeChat is used heavily in Asia to pay for stuff. It's a daily necessity in China. I've watched many videos of people doing shopping in China and going to the market, negotiating and using WeChat to pay for stuff. So WeChat has almost replaced cash in many instances in China. So it could probably hurt Apple a lot. Now, the question is, will Android have to follow? Maybe the way the App Store is set up, maybe it won't be as effective. I don't know. Okay, so Apple does not like anytime someone gets close to having a logo looking like their logo. And we all know what the Apple logo looks like. But did you know that a right-angled pear leaf is considered to be infringing? Well, they went after small business, saying that the trademark, saying our pear logo, which leans to its side and has a leaf at the top, looks too much like the Apple mark. So they're going after them. And which company is this? Pears, I guess is the name of the company. But anyway, that's the latest on people getting sued by Apple because it's too close to another trademark. Should not be a surprise. Okay. Hey, guess what? I'm going to bring us to the end here. I got to do this thing fast tonight. I wanted to because I was worried about this weather. But hey, congratulations again to, what was it, Bob? Yep, for getting it real close on the rocker, losing my rocker. And if you want to Google that, all you got to do is Google Navy rocker, and you see what a rocker looks like. And yes, I did lose my rocker at one point in my career. Didn't have to wear it anymore. All right, that's going to wrap me up here for the day. I want to thank you all for being part of the family. And if you're not an insider, please consider becoming one. We do want to thank you for your support from GoDaddy last month. We had a decent month with GoDaddy. It's we've had a few short months, so it was a little better this month or last month. So I do appreciate you with that. But any insider donations really goes right back 100% into the website, 100% into the show. It's immediately rolled over month after month. So we do appreciate you. Appreciate your support. I want to thank you for being here, part of the podcast tonight. Thank you for hanging out with me. And I'll be back on Thursday for another show. And the Red Bull really did kind of give me a good pickup here. I was kind of like, maybe it was sugar low or something. But anyway, Bob, I'll be in contact. Get your PayPal address. Get your $20 bill. And thanks, everyone, for being here. Thanks for being part of the family. Thanks for tuning in. All of you who are live tonight, hope you had a good time. I know I did. No fun puns, but Ted did get us some good information about what it costs to have a digital billboard. Let's think about that. Figure out how we can make that happen as a family. Don't you think it'd just be fun to have a digital billboard and be able to put up silly stuff? You'd have to. It would be cool. All right. Everyone take care. We'll see you next time here. And someone else has already have got the thought about doing this. But anyway, everyone take care. We'll see you next time here on the Geek Central podcast. Everyone take care. Bye-bye.